Come on. Love technology. There we go. I think we're good. Here we go.
Let's go, Dusty. Fire away.
God, you are so loud.
Why are you yelling? Somebody's got to bring the energy, though.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture.
Who?
Joined by my co-host, Brian Rogers, and my brother, Brooks Rothschild. We are going to be talking about today the Orioles, of course, like we always do. Craig Kimbrell, some of the other stuff that's been going on. We have some fan questions we're going to get to. We're going to talk about the NFL. JJ McCarthy out for the season. That got announced right after we finished our pod last week, so we'll talk a little bit about that and some other stuff with the NFL. We'll talk a little bit about the golf playoffs. They're underway. We're going to do our That's a Shame segment as we always do. And then we'll go into our snake trends. And today we got a real good one. It's best beers. So yeah, we'll start off with the O's after the sweet ending in Williamsport last night. The Tigers beat the Yankees on a walk-off. The O's are again in first place. We're tied. We have the same record as the Yankees, but as of right now, we hold the tiebreaker against them. Split both series this week versus the Nats and the Red Sox. Anything you guys want to touch on before we get into the rundown? Anything you saw this week that you really want to talk about?
Brian, you can lead us off.
I have absolutely nothing.
Oh, sick. Defense is getting better, guys. That's good news. That's good news. Besides, I don't know, did Urias make that stupid pop-up play in foul territory since the last time we were on? Regardless, that was the last absolutely terrible thing I probably saw. Suarez threw one away last night, but that was a tough play. Probably should have just ate it.
Our defense is a big concern now because it's a lingering issue. It's something that we've seen a bunch over the course of the last probably 2 months. You can't really go with a clean scoreboard on the right side of that sheet. There's at least one or two in the air column, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Like Brooks said, though, I think it's been better. Gunner's definitely been better. He was having a really rough couple of weeks there. At shortstop, he looks like he's settled in. He's not double pumping and crow hopping 3 times every time he throws anymore. That was actually something interesting that happened in that Tigers game last night. Just before we talk about the Orioles too much, I do want to talk about that game because it's so fresh in my mind. It was awesome. It's really cool that they're able to do these kind of things with the Field of Dreams game and the Williamsport game every year now. A lot of kids got to meet their idols, got to get autographs of, Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and Tarek Skubal. But the game was awesome. I don't know if many of our viewers watched it last night, but the last 3 innings especially were electric. And one of the guys that the Tigers just brought up, Jace Young, who's, I believe, Josh Young of the Texas Rangers, his little brother, had the game-winning hit, I believe, or the game-tying or game-winning hit last night. It was really cool to watch. But yeah, I think getting back to the Orioles, the defense will improve, I hope. I still think the outfield defense is a little bit up in the air, especially after watching the Red Sox this week. I mean, that dude Duran in center field covers some ground. That guy was taking away hits from everyone.
He looks like an upcoming star. He's an upcoming star, without a doubt. I think he's betting like 292, and he is an upcoming star.
He hates gay people, though.
Yeah, not a good look for that guy. real bad look for that guy.
Okie dokie. I'm going to move on past.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what I'm talking about, Brian? Do you have any – you seem like you don't know what happened.
Zero idea, but I just don't want to touch it.
All right, he just came. All right, for anybody who doesn't know, since one of our co-hosts doesn't know what's going on, he got a 2-game suspension this week, and it might have been his first game back, or maybe his second game back. The first game of the Orioles series, for using some language that's offensive towards the gay community, and it's kind of precedent. Usually when any of that stuff gets picked up on a hot mic, the precedent has been a 2-game suspension. So, yep, that's been what's going on with that. So that's why I brought that up. I'm not trying to slander him or anything, and he probably doesn't hate gay people, but he definitely used a gay slur when yelling at a fan. So
he had a bad moment, and that happens a lot. It happened with Justin Thomas a couple of years ago. He lost a couple sponsors because of it. It's tough to judge people on their weakest moments, especially there's not a hot mic following him around every day. So hopefully he has learned from that situation and he will change. But hell of a center fielder, that guy. Anyway, we'll move on because this is kind of a weird topic. We don't have to spend much time on this. I do want to talk about some good stuff before we get to the bad stuff with the Orioles.
The good stuff is check out the merch.
Yeah, that is good stuff. We all have different versions of the new hats that are in. If you want a hat, contact any of us 30 American. I do have a couple buddies that I have promised hats to. Shout out to Mike Custis and Nick Vogt. Those hats are on the house. You guys listen every week. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. So new merch, hit us up. Good news with the Orioles, however. Albert Suarez and Zach Eflin are fucking sick. We have a complete mishmash rotation. Just doesn't resemble anything that we thought it was going to look like at the beginning of the season. And Albert Suarez, 34, 35-year-old dude we picked up from Korea who hasn't been in the bigs in several years, has been amazing. He's on a 17 2/3 straight inning scoreless streak right now. And Zach Eflin, since we traded for him, is 4-0 with like a 2 ERA.
Dusty, you're a fucking asshole because what's going to happen now is Suarez is going to give us 6 runs in his next out in the first inning because you just messed with a heater. You never talk about a heater, dude. All right? I don't care if I'm loud. I'm getting pissed. All right? Let the man be.
He's got 5 days. He'll figure it out.
Thank God Brian got a microphone that he can't even use right now. Yeah. I mean, it's now that you've already brought it up. Yeah, it's the longest streak this year too. From anybody. The second longest I think was Scooble. I think there was a couple people tied for the second longest, but one of them Scooble with like 16 point something. Wow. So and like just remember after the All-Star break when he had what was it, 2 or 3 rough outings in a row. And everybody was like, yeah, and then he went to the bullpen after we got some guys and moved some guys around. And everybody was super pumped about that. And then now he's back. The guy has saved our ass this year, honestly, in terms of just like eating innings and quality starts from a guy that we had no idea, did not expect this from. We kind of all just at the beginning of the year probably expected him to be helping out in the bullpen, and he's probably going to get into some long relief situations when we're either up a bunch or down a bunch. And now the guy has really saved our ass with everything going on. And I mean, on a positive note, I saw Grayson was soft tossing, throwing lightly the other day. So
if you would have said Albert Suarez before the season started, I would have told you he was a groundskeeper.
Yeah, I would have known. I had no idea.
Yeah. I mean, we signed him
seriously
like a month into the year, or what was it, like a couple weeks into the year? Just came out of nowhere. I got a text. I'll read it. I might get clowned for this, but by the definition of the award, are we sure he isn't the most valuable Oriole this season?
I was seriously going to say that. The guy has literally been a godsend. And yeah. Where will we be without? I mean, and not only like is he eating innings, like these quality starts. He's put up he's had what? If you want to go back and look at all of them, and I should do this before the next podcast, he might have had 4 or 5 rough outings out of the 18 starts that he's had, 20 starts that he's had. Never would have guessed that.
7 scoreless outings. That's the note we're getting. We're going to put up on screen for you from Nick. He's the guy who sent me that.
7 scoreless, guys. That is. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
Out of a guy we got for nothing. We got it for a bag of peanuts.
I would expect that out of Burns. I mean, I would have been super happy with any of our top 3 to 4 starters to have 7 scoreless outings this year. That's a pretty solid season.
Yeah. Burns, I believe, leads the league in quality starts by like 3. I think he's got 19 or something like that this year already. Had a rare blow-up start the other night in that crazy weird games. In that crazy weird game against the Red Sox on Friday that we'll end up talking about here in a sec. But I do want to talk about Cade Povich too. Brooks, you specifically texted on our group chat that you were really excited about the way Cade Povich threw the ball the other night. Do you want to tell us what you saw in particular from him?
Were you wearing pants during the text?
Can we bring what?
Were you wearing pants during the text about Cade Povich? Because I actually contemplated texting you that.
No, but I mean, I was a little tuned up for sure. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I was in bed. I'm not sure if I had pants on or not. I'm not really not 100% sure, but yeah, I mean, the big thing is 0 walks. Yeah. Sorry, my dog's being weird. So I mean, that was it was the first time, one of the first time, like he probably had another outing that either I missed or wasn't paying close enough attention to, that he actually looked like a pitcher in terms of like controlling the strike zone and everything like that. But that was the big thing in his first stint up with us was all the walks and him trying to nibble a little too much at the corners, which I know he has to do a little bit because his velocity isn't as high as some other guys. But I mean, watching that outing, it just felt like, man, this dude knows how to pitch. It was like watching Cole, like it reminds you of Cole Hamels because he never blew anybody away really either. He wasn't that power stuff guy. So, I mean, it's just, you watch it and it's like, all right, can we get that guy more often? Like it's something positive to build on. So yeah, I was pretty ecstatic to see that. And I hope that trend kind of continues with him because that would be a huge, huge help for us.
Yeah, it's the Zach Eflin effect. Just don't walk anybody and just pound the zone. Just get guys out on the ground.
I think it was Foy or Brett said in our group chat was like maybe Eflin went up to him and talked to him about how much he fucking hates walks, and then he just decided, all right, I guess I probably shouldn't walk anybody because this Eflin guy's going to beat the shit out of me if I do.
Yeah, they were talking about that on the broadcast the other night. I think it was Palmer and Kevin Brown talking, or maybe it was Ben McDonald talking about how they were speaking to Zach Eflin, and he was like, it literally keeps me up at night when I walk people, like when I walk one batter.
This reminds me because Palmer said something during the podcast that I used to like during after during the game, during the broadcast, that I was like, man, that is literally what I used to go say to my college coach, even afterwards when he was asking me for some advice with some starting pitchers. Honestly, I used to tell this to Mesa too. Instead of walking people and like when you're getting into these 3-2 counts or something like that, especially if bases aren't loaded. I mean, especially if there's no one on base, if you go watch batting practice, hitting is really hard. You can go watch batting practice, and a lot of times, I mean, big leads are obviously a lot less, but like you can sit there and probably watch it and be like, all right, 5 of these last 10 swings were outs. Like they're getting themselves out on batting practice fastballs.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's really hard to hit. So think about that for a second. And obviously you're not always trying to throw balls, but maybe just don't nibble on that 3-2 pitch with nobody on base. I don't care if you groove one or if you throw something that's moving down the middle. Make them put the ball in play. If they hit a solo bomb, it's one fucking run, and it's over with. And I mean, I can't tell you how many. I mean, I gave up solo bombs because I did that because I would do that so often. But I would tell you, 95% of the time, it worked out in my favor, and they usually end up popping up, getting themselves out, or looking because they weren't expecting something to be grooved down the middle like that.
It's so simplistic. Greg Maddox said it the best. Pitch to contact.
Yeah.
But did he throw like a 79 inning or 79 pitch complete game?
Yeah.
Because he got a bunch of guys on ground balls.
Something like that. And Palmer said it, and I was like, man, I've literally never heard anybody else say that to anybody, and I'm sure it has been said. But I would go up to Mesa the year when he was a freshman and I was a junior, and I'm like, Mesa, your stuff is way fucking better than mine. Like 3-2 count, throw it down the goddamn middle. I guarantee you, 80 to 90% of the time you're going to get that out.
Yeah,
probably a higher percentage than that.
Yeah.
So take that, do that. If they hit a solo bomb, it's 1 run rather than you putting somebody on base and building momentum. And that next batter could be a 2-run home run if you make a mistake pitch. So
yeah, it builds momentum for the other team. It shifts your defense around. So now your defense isn't in spots that they're normally in. It makes it more difficult on them because now they have to think about where they're going to be throwing the ball if they get a ground ball to them or a fly ball to them. So it just makes everyone's life easier. Look, if they get a hit, they get a hit, like Brooks said, but even the best guys in the league are only getting a hit 30-35% of the time. So it's tough to hit, especially if you got major league stuff. Attack the strike zone. And I love watching Zach Eflin pitch because he just attacks. It's amazing.
Love it. Absolutely.
Brian,
love
you're
it.
muted.
It's fantastic unless you're Craig Kimbrell and you just throw flat shit that goes right over the goddamn middle, and then you belt high Bud Norris and it goes over the fence. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Okay. I'm tired of people. People defending the redhead. Look,
we can get there.
I love my girlfriend. I love redheads. This is bullshit. He is terrible. He is not good. I don't want to hear any stats. I don't want to hear splits. I don't want to hear hard hit contact. I'm watching things go over this random fencing we have out in the outfield. Yes, he sucks.
Well, I'll give you some numbers here. In his last 10 appearances, he's given up 11 hits and 11 earned.
Not good.
It's not good.
Let's bring
not good.
So Mike Pipitone sent a question to the group like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with Kimbrel the rest of the year? And obviously I've been a Kimbrel defender for a while here, but like since the All-Star break, it hasn't been the same.
I'm sure we got a ball bucket he can sit on, or maybe he could be a backup catcher in the bullpen.
At this point,
fucking ass clown.
At this point right now, it's you want him in your bullpen because you want him to. I mean,
he brings hair.
You want his.
What's he gonna do?
You want his experience.
So he can obviously, he can impart some knowledge in the playoffs to some of these younger guys. Do I think he should be pitching in these situations anymore? No, I don't. At the moment, like unless we're up by 1,000 runs or down by 1,000 runs, like that's the only time he should be getting in the game at the moment because he's lost all confidence. It looks like out there. And so, I mean, yeah, I've been a Kimbrel defender and he was stellar the whole first half of the year. But at this point I can't defend him anymore. Since the All-Star break, I gave him leeway for a couple games there. Maybe he figures it back out, but he hasn't, and he doesn't even look like he's close. Yeah. So at this point in the season, you can't trust him in those situations. So, but you can, like, the guys are still going to look up to a guy, a veteran like that. Yes, they will. Like the guy has more playoff appearances and has gotten big.
Great. He's a Hall of Famer, Brian. He's a Hall of Famer.
Then bring back Jesse Orosco. All right, then we can do that. He's a Hall of Famer too.
Jim Tomei didn't
bring in Tippy Martinez. I don't give a shit. Right now, he is a detriment to the team, and you know it, Brooks, and I know you don't.
When he's pitching,
on
maybe,
the mound.
Yeah, but Jim Tomei hardly played when we went on that playoff run. Whenever he got in, I can't remember what year it was. Was it 2014 or 15 when Tomei was on the Orioles that we went on a playoff run? He hardly played. He wasn't Jim Tomei anymore, but I'm sure he helped the shit out of the guys in the locker room because he had 600 and some home runs in his career.
I mean, even though the guy can't help us pitching at the moment in tough situations, which sucks, and I feel bad for him. But I mean, he's got more experience in the playoffs than anybody else, and he can give these guys a little bit of tips in terms of mental mindset, what to be ready for when they get into these situations. Should he be pitching in those such situations? No, but the guy is a future Hall of Famer. He's been there, done that. The guys can go to him, at least ask questions, you know?
Good. So he's a $13 million assistant bench coach.
At this point, yeah, unless we're up by a ton or down by a ton.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not
there's
good.
There's not much else we can do.
And I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm sick of the defenders. They're like,
Well-
oh, he's got this split, he's got this, he does
I don't
this
think
good
there's-
on
I think
on Tuesday
I-
nights.
we were-
It's like, I don't give a shit.
I think
I
we were
think-
the last of the Mohicans in terms of the defenders. Greg
I think the
Kimbrell. I don't think
defenders
they're
are-
out there anymore.
I think the defenders are gone. Do I hope do I hope at some point it comes back, like if we're up by 12 runs against the Red Sox or whoever we're playing at some point, and we can throw them in there and be like, all right, go fucking figure it out. Yes, I hope that happens because that's only going to benefit us. But at this point in time,
I would trust Henry Rowan-Gardner right now over Craig Kimbrell.
With the floater or with the broken arm?
This Stuffy McGee floater, man.
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
all right. I also got to defend somebody again that I love defending, and everybody hates him in Birdland. Keegan
Can we
Aiken.
not talk about? Okay.
Jason Lockenporno?
Keegan Aiken. I said I need to defend somebody.
Keegan
Keegan
Aiken's been good, man.
Yeah, I mean, has he had a bad outing here and there? Yes. Let me pull his stats. I pulled these yesterday before the game. His whip right now,
By the way,
His
the
whip for
most
season
important
is
stat-
0.98.
0.98.
So, Brooks, before you even go there, that I think is the most important stat is your whip. That
Yeah.
really is. I don't care about velocity. If you have a whip under 1, that's phenomenal. And whip means walks, hits per inning pitch for all you guys out there.
Yeah, if there's somebody who's not familiar with that stat, that's which also plays into this stat. He's pitched 62 innings this year. He has 16 walks to 73 strikeouts. Those are great numbers. Like, to put this into perspective, at this time, I think I looked it up. At this time last year, Batista at 62 innings or 61 innings or something like that had like 110 strikeouts, which was ridiculous because we know what he did last year was crazy. And I think he might have had a couple more walks, and it was a slightly better whip, but like his numbers besides the strikeouts are pretty similar to that. Not obviously not saying comparing him at all. Like the guy's ERA is still a lot higher than what Batista's was last year because he's given
And he
up
chugs hot dogs. He chugs
He's given-
hot dogs.
he's given up a couple solo bombs, but also another stat that matters, his batting average against him is 0.198. Those are great numbers.
Those are phenomenal.
If you're not walking guys and they're not getting hits off you, it's tough for them to score runs. He does have blow up games here and there. I think that's his biggest detriment, but for the most part, he's pretty consistent.
He loves a solo bomb too.
Yeah.
Solo bombs don't kill you.
Trevor Rogers is pitching tonight. Since we traded for him, things have not been good for Trevor Rogers. We're kind of hoping he can turn that around tonight. Do you have anything on him in particular, Brooks, or you think it's just kind of the growing pains and he's just trying to still figure it out?
I mean, I'm guessing he's trying to figure it out. Like, I think it was 2 starts ago he had a decent start.
Yeah.
And I was
Guys,
hoping
I'm taking 2 minutes off.
Okay.
I'm hoping we were gonna keep trending in that direction. I know the Orioles pitching staff or pitching coaches and everything like that have given him a couple things that they have seen to get him some of the reasons why they believe why he is not in the same form as he was 2 years ago when he was an all-star. But yeah, I mean, let's hope we start trending in the right direction here.
Yeah. If we don't,
luckily this is a team that he should know a little bit better. So let's hope that this is going to be a little bit better of an outing. But I think he's kind of on a short leash at the moment, and he should be.
I'm thinking like if and I know we have control over him for the next couple of years, but I'm thinking if he doesn't start looking a little bit better, Povich might have a better chance of getting a roster spot, especially just at least getting on the team for the playoffs, just in case we need somebody to go lengthy in a situation.
At the moment, yeah, I agree with you. But when he did have that better game, and like I said, I think it was 2 games ago, he was getting his velocity back up to that 94 mark more consistently. Because I mean, when he's not throwing well, he's down around that like 91 number, which is like around what Povich is too. But just not. It just hasn't been performing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
The trade looks terrible right now.
Yeah.
At the moment, but I mean, again, we're not going to see what this trade's going to amount to for another year or so.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look, we have
hopefully
2 more years of control with them after this. So
Yeah.
it's not, also, you can say we're losing the trade, but since being traded to the Marlins, Kyle Stowers is hitting 104. And Connor Norby is still in the minor leagues. So I think we're good on that stuff at this point in the season from our offense. Our offense is starting to click though. However, let's go. Let's transition. Gunnar has homered in 4 of his last 5 games after he had a big drought leading after the All-Star break. I think he had like 28 homers going into the All-Star break, and he's finally broken out of his homer slump. And then Holiday in that weird, crazy drunk Friday night game that we lost 12-10 had 4 hits the other night. So the bats are picking up. What have you guys seen specifically out of Gunnar? You think he's just taking advantage of bad pitches, or you think he's getting more locked in at the plate? What have you seen so far?
I think Ryan Ripken said it the best. He said that basically he gets frustrated. When he's not frustrated, he's fluid. He's got really big confidence at the plate. The minute he gets frustrated, he tightens up. That's what really scares me about him. Now, I think he's a great fit for the Orioles, but that frustration, if you get it in a 3-game series, watch out.
Yeah.
I want to see what Nick thinks. Nick keeps popping in here. Thank you, Nick, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he even said, I think it was in his post-game interview recently, like he just felt like since the All-Star break, he's been trying to do too much at the plate, and he's trying to simplify a little bit. And so, which I could see. I mean, but yeah, like you said, I mean, he's starting to hit the ball a lot more. I mean, the whole offense is starting to hit the ball a lot better. Even Seti's last 10 games have been pretty solid. I think he's batting like 280 something over the past 10 games. So offense is starting to get there. But we always have that dud where we score like 0 to 2 runs. And it's like, where the hell did this come from? We got 3 lefties coming up too.
We are so lefty heavy.
I wanted to say this before. Yeah. No, before we get into this series versus the Mets and people lose their minds because of the lineups, Austin Slater's almost certainly going to start in all 3 of these games, and you guys are going to be mad about it. But that dude's been pretty good for us, by the way. In his last 7 games, I think this is all of his Orioles stats. He's hitting 275. I mean, is it great?
Yeah.
No, but it's look, you're getting a serviceable bat against left-handed pitching, and he's not terrible in the outfield, which a lot of our outfielders, you can't really say that about. So 3 straight starts against left-handed pitching, he's probably going to play all 3 of those games, and Eloy probably will too.
Yeah,
he is one of the sexiest, underrated human beings I've known. Like, he is our Jacoby Jones.
We got to stop talking about the hot guy draft and just do it.
Well, I was talking about how good he is as a baseball player in terms of sexy. That action right there. I don't know who the hell he was. Austin Slater sounds like somebody that was on Saved by the Bell. And all of a sudden, he's coming in. He's just slaying things all over the place.
He's Slater.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going AC Slater in my chair right now just for Austin Slater.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Friday night game against the Red Sox. I watched this whole game. I was with my buddies at a place called Franco's in Ocean City that has really great pizza. If anybody is in the Ocean City area, they have really good Franco's.
Not a sponsor, but we would love them to be.
Exactly. We watched this whole game there, and good God Almighty, was this game crazy! Just two-run inning after 3-run inning after 2-run inning. But I do want to talk about Jackson Holiday having 4 hits in this game, a couple of them to the opposite field down the third base line. I really like seeing that. Looks like he's using the whole field a lot more. He just missed a homer. He had his first triple in this game. And also Ramon Urias had a 5 RBI night that night. Kind of like quietly a great week for us. Ramon did.
Great month.
It's crazy that we keep losing these games where we have all these hits. This stat for that I got from Jacob Calvin Meyer on Twitter. The Orioles have recorded 16 plus hits in 5 games this season. They're 1-4 in those games. The rest of the MLB is 88-2 in those games. So the Orioles have accounted for 4 of the 6 losses from a team that has 16 or more hits.
We need the pressure, huh?
Yeah, I
Apparently.
guess. I don't know.
Apparently we need-
Whenever the bullpen blows up, our bats come alive. Crazy.
Yeah, that was and that was the first there was some terrible stuff being said about Burns after that start, and I don't understand why there was a bunch of hate for that. I know, so I saw a stat that he had since the All-Star break, he's had an ERA of like 4.50. But regardless, that's a little inflated because of that outing. I mean, he's had a few quality starts since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Has he been as good as the first half so far? No. But I mean, the guy still, I mean, you're gonna have a clunker. You're not gonna have your stuff. A lot of times when he doesn't have his stuff, he can outstuff people, is what we say. Is his stuff is that good that he can, if I say stuff one more time, I'm gonna slap myself. But he's got such a good repertoire of pitches that he can make up for it even when shit's not going right for him. But
Mike Pipitone back in the chat. Thanks for the love, Mike. We love you. If you guys need any insurance needs, go to Michael Pipitone. He's got you. But yeah, I think Burns has been struggling a little bit of late, but like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, he still leads the league in quality starts. It's tough, and when you're getting this kind of production out of your ace for a couple week or a couple month span, that you're not really expecting it, because all first half of the season he was like in lockstep with Skubal as the favorite to win the AL Cy Young. But I can't see him this being a long-term thing for him. Like we talked about this a couple weeks ago with Adley. Just the approach and the talent, like the game-to-game stuff is so good, and the numbers are so good backing everything up, that I can't see this lasting for longer than just a rough stretch in the middle of the season, you know?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
And that's when we talk about Kimbrel and you talk about Burns, you think about it, like Kimbrel has a extended period of time where he was really good, then really bad. He's Mark Reynolds, but on the mound.
Yeah.
Good comparison.
Honestly, Burns had one clunker. Who gives a shit? Like he's gonna bounce back. Maybe he might throw 7 shutout innings the next time he goes on the bump. So I'm not really worried about that. Kimbrel, I wouldn't trust with a $5 bill and a potato gun.
Yeah, Burns. I don't know what that even means, but I don't know, but it's provocative. No, Burns is going to be fine. I know he's had some. The last one was the only real terrible start that he's had, and he was not hitting spots at all. That's shit's going to happen sometimes. It happens to him a lot less than most other pitchers in the league.
Yeah.
A couple of the other starts were, I mean, they were just okay, right? But his okay is still giving us a pretty good position to win.
Yeah. Plus, you gotta remember, this is a great lineup against right-handed pitching in the Red Sox, between Yoshida, Devers, Duran, who we were just talking about.
They're also hot.
A bunch of sick left-handed hitters that are just dominating right-handed pitching all year, and also they got Tristan Casas, who returned that night, who's been missing for most of their season.
I still wouldn't expect them to beat Burns on most nights, but I mean, they're just hot as hell right now, to be honest.
And sometimes you just run into a buzzsaw. I mean, you see it. It's just
see the Rangers last year. See the Rangers.
Yeah. Corey Seager. I mean, Randy Johnson couldn't have gotten Corey Seager out last year.
I would have thrown the ball into the stand instead of throw it to Corey Seager.
You were to Trevor Bauer ball?
I get lost.
Just for a second.
No. That would have been a ball gag.
Got him.
Oh man. Adley got scratched the other night with lower back discomfort. That was a little worrisome, but he came back a couple days later, homered yesterday.
I'm going to say goodbye to my girlfriend before she goes deep.
How many times are you going to say goodbye to her?
I might come back with no shirt on if you keep this up.
Is she never coming back? But
yeah.
I also want to bring up. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter that shout out to Orioles gatekeeper for boxing out Zach Hampel on that Adley home run.
Yeah, I saw that he was getting into it with some O's fans because apparently they were being very aggressive towards him in the flag courts. I think it's gotten around Birdland that this guy is the worst, and people are just starting to box him out. We love that. We're very anti Zach Hampel show here.
He missed out. He missed out on Gunner's ball too, apparently, from the other tweets that I saw too, which was great. But I know I watched that replay a couple times. You can just see that guy. And Orioles gatekeeper is not his actual tag; it's the name on it. But he literally boxed him out right around the flagpole the whole time, and then he got all pouty or something afterwards at him.
For those of you who don't know, you probably do know. If you're listening to this podcast, you almost certainly know who Zach Hampel is. But if you don't know for whatever reason, he's just the guy who runs around to different baseball stadiums around the country and robs little kids of home run balls and then tries to sell them. And just a shithead of a human being. If you want to look more into him, you can. I don't want to promote him any more than we already have.
I'll give him a little bit of credit. He does give a lot of balls away now to kids, but I mean, he still ruins the game experience for a lot of people. And he has been known. I can't sit here and say that I've like literally watched this happen to knock over a kid to catch a ball. So
the upcoming schedule, we got 3 games at New York for the Mets. Like I said earlier, they're starting 3 lefties against us, so expect a lot of right-handed heavy lineups. If you see Jackson Holliday or one of our left-handed hitters that's hot sitting for a game, you know why. And then we'll come back home. We have 4 games for Houston. I think this is our last time playing Houston, and the Sunday night game is Sunday Night Baseball. So we're finishing the series out with Sunday Night Baseball this Sunday night, which is going to be awesome. Really cool to see the Orioles on Sunday Night Baseball. It feels like I didn't see it ever in my entire childhood. So,
I got 2 things real quick. One, I was very stunned to see that the Mets are this close to a wild card spot.
Yeah,
they're still in it.
They're like 1 game or 2 games back. I was very surprised to see that, and that's just me being a novice on this one. Second, on the topic of Sunday Night Baseball, I'm going apples oranges here because I'm going football, baseball, and I'm not trying to take a right turn from the left-hand lane. I love that the preseason games are done by local broadcasts. It really allows you to enjoy like a Jerry Sandusky or a Quadri Ishmael, and you get to hear some of these voices as opposed to hearing nothing against these guys like Jim Nance and Tony Romo. Because they're national guys, they're kind of they got a very broad spectrum. I love the local broadcast. So that made me think of it when you said we were on Sunday Night Baseball.
Is this new this year? I feel like this is new this year.
No. This is for the preseason. It's been like this. Sandusky and Quadri have been calling preseason games forever.
Well, I knew that, but like when they do the broadcast and they're actually like nationally, they're putting the local broadcast on. I feel and maybe this is just something I never noticed in the past, but yeah, I think it's a cool thing. That's something NFL got right. I feel like.
I mean, if you think about it, like Myron Cope, who made the terrible towel, and I mean, obviously we don't like the Steelers, but we respect the Steelers. Like Myron Cope doesn't exist if he doesn't have local broadcasting. Jack Buck doesn't exist unless he's a St. Louis Cardinals local broadcaster. Bob Uecker, for God's sakes. Bob Uecker has a freaking statue outside of Milwaukee Brewers Stadium. Those local guys, they know the team. They understand exactly what the heck's going on. That's imperative to a town.
Yeah, think about like how many times we sit here and listen to some of the broadcasts when when the Orioles have been on national television this year, last year, and you're like, man, this guy really doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like they'll say something, and you're like, that's not right. And
it's not like you're shitting on John Sciambi or something like that, or whoever. You're not shitting on these guys. John Smoltz is fantastic because it gives you knowledge of the game, not
I agree.
players.
I agree.
Yeah.
But the local guys have a feel for the city. They understand.
Yeah.
They might even have the accent of the city.
Yeah.
And they're in the locker room. They know the guys. Like I completely agree with you.
It's completely different from if you're announcing Sunday Night Baseball. You're watching you can't watch every single game. So you're picking and choosing what games to watch every night. Obviously, us as Orioles fans, we're going to be watching 162 Orioles games with a couple other games thrown in. But you just don't get the full picture from the national guys every time. And I think that was a good point, Brian. I actually really like that.
Yeah, it's something I never really thought about, but when I watch the preseason games and I hear Jerry Sandusky and Quadri, they just have a local feel. And once again, it might even be the accent. You don't realize how much a city really makes you. It develops your character, and those guys have the character of the city.
Yeah.
Even though Quadri didn't grow up here, but Jerry Sandusky, without a doubt, did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, one thing I want to bring up now that we're getting back into our schedule a little bit. Not looking past the Mets here, but kind of. Would love to at least get 2 out of 3 against them. This Houston series is going to tell us a lot because Houston is one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Yep.
They were a team that we kept talking about, like, hey, this is not like the way they started the year was horrible. And
they were 10 or 15 games under 500 at one point.
Oh yeah. And we kept saying like, this is not the real Astros team. Like they're going to get hot. We'll see if they've dug themselves into too big of a hole. Obviously they haven't at this point because they're scratching and clawing back in. And they've won 5 or 6 straight right now. Unless they lost last night. And I didn't check that, but
they get a new trash company. Trash company.
Not a team. Not a team I want to see in the playoffs at the moment.
They have won 10 of their last 11, and they've taken a 4-game lead in the AL West. Where the Mariners, I think, at one point had a 7 or 8 game lead in the AL West, and now they're 5.5 games back in the wild card.
Fucking Sean Barletta. All right, suck it, Mariners.
The Mariners don't even have a World Series appearance under their belt. We don't need to beat them any harder than they've already been beaten down by that franchise for years and years and years.
They're the Ricky Fowler of Major League Baseball. They're never going to get there. Never going to get there.
Oh man, just an overwhelmingly negative man Brian is today. I don't know what's gotten into him. Maybe it's
somebody's
shirt he's wearing.
Somebody's shitting his Cheerios today.
Yeah.
I don't eat Cheerios. I'm Frosted Flakes, motherfucker.
Well, they pissed in those.
Jeff, I had this tweet from Jeff Passan about how weird this baseball season is. The difference between the top 12 teams in the MLB is only 6 games. So the Phillies had the best record in baseball at 73-51, and the Braves have the 12th best record in baseball, and they're 66-58. So we're talking about like a very, very parity-driven league right now. Like a lot of teams have a chance, and there's 4 or 5 teams on both the AL and the NL side that have legitimate chances of making the wild card. And there's going to be a couple teams that are good that just aren't going to make it. I think the pace for the best team in the league right now is 95 wins. Apparently there hasn't been a season. I'll read this. The last year without a 100-win team was 2014. So we're talking about over a decade. That's not to say some team can't get hot and win 100 games like the Orioles or the Yankees or the Phillies or one of these top teams, but it's crazy how loaded, how log jammed the top of the league is right now.
I give a lot of shit. We give a lot of shit to Rob Manfred. I think he's the worst commissioner in the 4 major sports. I honestly do. Parity in baseball has been something that's been lacking for as long as I can really remember. There's always high, heavy market teams, Yankees, Red Sox, name it. Parity in baseball is great. And what you just said, rip off those splits there, Dusty. That tells you a lot of what Rob Manfred has done. These new CBA rules where people are able to go ahead and they get draft compensation You can't draft higher. Like, for example, the Chicago White Sox, as terrible as they are, can't draft higher than 10th.
Yeah.
How terrible is that?
Yeah.
But that being said, they're a higher market team because they live in a big city. This is a testament to Rob Manfred and Tony Clark, by the way, Players Association.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And it makes baseball better. It really does. And we get to enjoy these things now.
And one more thing about that: these top 12 run differential teams or record teams in the league. We're talking about the Orioles, the Cleveland Guardians, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Minnesota Twins, the Kansas City Royals, the Arizona Diamondbacks. These are not big market teams. These are smaller market teams, a lot of them. And, obviously you got the Phillies and the Yankees and some bigger markets there. But for the most part, a lot of smaller market teams playing a lot better baseball this year, which is really good to see.
Without a doubt. And you got to think about it. Baseball is a very regional sport. I mean, you focus on your team as opposed to football where there are only 17 games where everyone focuses on one day of a week and you all focus on one thing. You got red zone. Baseball is very regional. It's 162 games. You got the Diamondback. You got people in Arizona watching just specifically Arizona Diamondback games. Yeah. They're a la carte television. Rob Manfred has done a good job with this, and I appreciate him doing this. And I never really give Rob Manfred credit because I think he's an absolute asshat, but he's done a really good job with this stuff.
I'm trying not to say anything negative about him right now, but
you are.
No, I was going to ask you. So you think this is due to like the comp picks and like how he's structured the draft, or do you think it's because of how he structured the playoffs with the wild card stuff now, which I give him more credit for that than the draft stuff.
To answer your question, I think it's an all-encompassing thing.
Okay.
I think it's a mix of both. I do like the draft stuff. I enjoy the bringing up younger players early. I think that has been awesome because a lot of the older players were not social media. They were not social media based. See Mike Trout, and I'm not making fun of Mike Trout. It's just who he is, his personality. But you bring up these younger guys like Fernando Tatis, or you bring up name that next guy, Bobby Witt. Yeah. They're on social media. They're promoting the game. That is what makes the game go. And I hate it because I hate social media. I hate technology. We hate technology. Yeah. But this actually makes the game go.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years ago, you wouldn't see Jackson Holliday playing in Major League Baseball games at 20 years old, no matter how much he was tearing through the minor leagues. I mean, we literally have an example of this with Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant was the best player in the minor leagues for several years.
So he's the reason why this happened, probably.
And he's the reason why it happened. We've had a good change of pace for that, and good for Chris Bryant. He ended up winning a World Series and an MVP. But I mean, he missed 2 or 3 years of prime baseball of his life are just gone because of the bullshit that the setup, the way it was set up before.
The manipulation of their time structure. So.
And I guess that's where I'm going with this. There was a change. There was a rotation there where Rob Manfred actually led the charge with Tony Clark of the Players Association, and it made it better for all of us, including the players. By the way.
Yeah. I mean that just seemed like such a no-brainer. Like why? But I mean, I guess you do need somebody like a Bryant where everybody's like, "This is bullshit." The guy literally can't do anything else in the minors right now, like besides hit 1,000. And everybody just knew, like, he's ready. Bring him the fuck up. Yeah. And then you always need somebody to spotlight it like that. But I mean, it was just so obvious. Like, I don't know, like baseball's so slow to move on stuff sometimes, and it just bugs me because
baseball's archaic. Baseball is extremely archaic, and everyone gets bloody. The first guy through the wall always gets bloodied, and Chris Bryant unfortunately got bloodied. Yeah. But he made it, and now everyone gets the benefit from it. I mean, and I'm going to go back. This is not racial whatsoever, but Jackie Robinson, first guy through the wall, got bloody, got killed, got crushed. You've seen the movie 42. We've all seen it, except Foy. And you know that, like, once you go through the wall and you break through that barrier, it's going to be better for everybody else. And that's why I love baseball now.
Yeah, I agree. One thing going back to the draft stuff that he changed that I don't like. I hate how much he cut down the draft. Because I mean, you'll never have another you'll never have another Tim Mesa, right? Like you'll never have a guy who gets drafted like in the later rounds that makes it to the bigs. because it's either gonna be signing free agency or they're gonna have to go play indie ball somewhere and hopefully get picked up. That kind of sucks. I don't love that, but
yeah, the roadmap for the lower tier prospects to grow, it's going to become a lot tougher for those guys to get into the major leagues.
Speaking of Tim Meza, Timmy congrats to Timmy. He got called back up to the bigs with the Yankees. Had his first outing. Relatively clean stat sheet. 1 hit, I think. No runs.
Scoreless inning.
So
scoreless inning. That's what we're looking for.
Shot him a text the other night. I didn't actually get to watch the outing. I'm like, hey, looks like you had a good first debut with the Yanks. Congrats, buddy. He's like, yeah, it was a little rocky start. And I'm like, well, I didn't watch it, but the stat line looked pretty clean. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Continuing on past Oriole stuff, just going to talk about a couple just quick baseball things before we move on to the rest of our pod. Aaron Judge hit his 300th career home run in his 955th career game. The previous record was 1,087 games, so almost a full season less games for Judge to get to 300. The other guy, or the previous record holder, was Hall of Fame outfielder Ralph Kiner, who Pittsburgh fans have described to me should have just used 2 bats in the field because he was just the worst fielder of all time. But just a crazy number for Judge, who's just on a torrid pace the last couple of years, and particularly this year. I mean, it just doesn't seem like anybody can stop him. Dude's got like 44. I think he's got 110 RBIs already.
What was his stats at like July 1st that were terrible? Remember those?
He was getting booed out of Yankee Stadium in April. In May.
Maybe it was June. Maybe it was June 1st. But he had some kind of terrible stat. The fact that he's at where he's at right now, with how long it took him to get going this year, is kind of nuts.
He's hitting like 440 in his last 30 games. It's insane.
Him and Tony Taters. Tony Taters is kind of amazing. The start they got off to where they're at.
Yeah. So a little trivia time for you guys. Judge and Soto are first and second in the major leagues in walks in a season. Who were the last two teammates to finish first and second in the league in walks?
Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent.
I will give you a hint. It is more recent than that.
Damn, that was my guess too.
It is National League though.
How more recent?
Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell.
I'm going to tell you one of these guys you're going to think of for sure. The other guy you're not going to think of, but you will remember.
Pujols and not Pujols.
2013 NL
13.
Central.
Okay.
Neither of them were born in America.
And we're saying, and Pujols wasn't one of them?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's got like Aramis Ramirez and something written all over it.
I love that guy, and I actually thought about that guy recently, but it's not him.
I don't know. Yelich wasn't there yet.
No. So I'll tell you, it's the Cincinnati Reds. It was Joey Votto in his MVP season in 2013, and Shin Chu was number 2 in the league in his one season with the Reds between his Cleveland and Texas stints. By the way, look at that guy's baseball reference page. What a great play.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to look right in the camera. I'm going to get real close. All right. Why do you always bring up Canadians? All right. I don't want to hear Joey Votto again.
Joey Votto. Can we look up Joey Votto's stat line this year in the minors?
Is it good or bad?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
No idea. There's some ridiculous stat about how Joey Votto never hit a foul ball to the right side for like 9 years. Like he never pulled the ball foul.
Joey Votto has 82 at bats in minor league baseball. He's hitting 171 with 2 homers. So I don't think things are going well. I think he's probably about done.
He's done. He's he
career
was on
14
Patrick show.
base, by the way.
He was a great player. Won an MVP. I mean, just did a great job. And he's hanging on. And this is the decay of the decay. Great hitter. decay of a baseball career, he's holding on and trying really hard, and I respect it.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He is going to do phenomenal things for MLB Network or somebody on TV. He has got a great personality. He got a better personality than all three of us combined. But it kind of sucks seeing him just fledgling right now.
Yeah.
If he wants to coach, I feel like he'd be a great
He'd
coach.
be a great candidate. Yeah. Hall of Famer now.
Yes.
Read off his numbers.
Yes.
Read off his numbers.
All right, let's bring him back up. Sorry, I just clicked out of that. So he doesn't have the counting stats as a lot of people look for, but still, I mean, pretty good. So career 64.5 WAR, which is huge. That's a lot. Anything over 50 is like incredible. 2,100 hits, 350 home runs, 294 career hitter, 410 on base, 511 slug, so 920 career OPS for a career OPS plus at 144. So he's 44% better than the average baseball hitter over the course of his career. Won an MVP, came in second in another MVP, top 10 MVP votes 7 times, and multiple Gold Gloves.
Played on a very shitty team for a very long time.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to throw it out there right away. He was not in a major market, but in Cincinnati. All right.
Yeah.
My way of looking at it, this is probably for all of us, a comment, and you guys can comment right back at me. When you say, is he a Hall of Famer? The minute you say, is he a Hall of Famer? If you can say yes right away, then you know he's a Hall of Famer. And Joey Votto, to me, is a Hall of Famer.
I think he's right. He's right on the edge.
No.
So it's a no. Yeah.
It's a no.
And that might change, and I might reflect on it later, and it might change. But as of right now, when you say Joey Votto Hall of Famer, it's not immediately like, yes, he's locked in.
Yeah, I'm on the edge with it. Maybe
it's like Jim Evans,
and that's a no.
Man. It's
a
so
no.
close.
No, like I don't think it's a no. It would be definitely something I would need to think about. The thing that sucks is and it's getting used against him just because, like you said, like the first thing I think about is like the guy didn't get to play in any meaningful games, which sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean,
neither did Mike Trout. All right.
I agree.
He has 3 games.
I agree.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Yeah,
and he didn't get a hit, I don't think.
He won 4 MVPs, not 1. I mean, that's
but you can't use that against him. You put in terrible teams.
I know. That's why.
And in baseball is the one sport where one player does not make a team. You can pitch around him, like Steve Barry Bonds, right? So in football or basketball, I mean, if you got a great dominant player, he's going to take over the game. Mike Trout can't take over the game. He just walk him. Barry Bonds just walk him.
Yeah.
I'm not. That would be. I'm not saying no. I think that would be a close one for me. He's right on the edge of the Hall of Very Good and getting in.
Yeah.
But everybody loves him and was a stand-up human being. So like to be, I mean, and it may right, wrong, or indifferent, that plays really well with the Baseball Writers Association. So
without a doubt, if Barry Bonds was a nice human being, even with steroids, he'd be in the Hall of Fame right now. But he was an absolute ass hammer of a human. So they're not letting him in.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on from Joey Votto. Joey Votto, you're the man. I hope you get in the Hall of Fame just because.
I hope you get in the Hall of Fame, Joey. Dude. Get in. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
why are you yelling? I can't.
I'm happy. I'm in a good mood today, dude. I'm in a great mood. I got new merch. I'm wearing a Chicken Palooza shirt. I got a new microphone.
You're not even using it.
Talking into nothing.
It's just there for the look. I'm here. It's there to look cool.
Last thing I had on baseball, Mookie, after breaking his left hand a couple months ago, homered in his return. He's hitting 360 in the last 8 games since his return. Just continuing to mash the ball, playing shortstop, second base, and right field wherever they need him that particular day. Unbelievable player. Absolutely love that. Great for baseball. And we're going to see him next week when we play the Dodgers and we have to play freaking Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts straight in a row for 3 nights in a row, which is going to be really fun.
Can I say something real quick? You brought the Dodgers. Congrats to all the fans who gave a standing ovation to Freddie Freeman for his the situation his family was going through.
Yes.
That was very awesome. Well done. Well
Yeah,
done.
we never talked about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
I
whole,
forgot about that. That was great.
Yeah, everything about that was awesome. Super.
Yeah,
I mean, besides the situation with the obviously, but seems like he's on the other side of it. I'm super happy about that. Seems like everything's working out as well as it could. So,
for those of you who don't know, Freddie Freeman's son had a very intense health scare and
was put on a ventilator.
A bizarre disease.
Put on a ventilator for something that you don't see very often, and it looks like he's going to be all right. And Freddie had to take a couple weeks away from baseball. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with your family. That's first and foremost. So it was really good to see him when he came back to the lineup. Like Brian just said, get a standing O. Everyone on the field was happy for him. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was really nice. Go ahead.
I was gonna say as much hate as Bryce Harper gets, and I think a lot of people have come around on him since he first came into the league. The fact that he literally said that Harper was texting him every single day. I think that's really cool. So, and gave him a big hug on first base when he got there. So,
and this is completely off. It's not off topic, but Freddie Freeman has one of the best bobbleheads of all time. It's when
Freddie Freeman looks like a bobblehead.
No, it's when either he or Chipper Jones got stuck in the snow, and one of them picked him up on an ATV, picked up the other one on an ATV, and they made it a bobblehead. So it's like Chipper Jones and Freddie Freeman holding each other on an ATV.
What?
That's unbelievable. I mean,
that's so random.
Yeah, I might have to buy one of these. I don't know if they sell them.
I know we got on this subject. I know we got on this subject with Mookie Betts. Did either one of you guys hear? I thought I heard that Dave Roberts said that he was going to play the rest of the year in the outfield. Is that true or not? Am I making that up?
I don't know.
Okay, so you guys didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that. It's certainly possible. I don't know though, but former Gold Glove outfielder, he's going to be fine wherever they put him, and he's still going to fucking rake anyway. All right, we talked about baseball for an hour, and we still got 10 people watching us. So hell yeah, we got baseball fans in the world.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
What's up, guys? We're going to move into football now. Just after we finished our podcast last week, we got news that J.J. McCarthy will miss the entirety of the regular season with a torn meniscus. J.J. McCarthy will be the first rookie quarterback drafted in the first round in history to miss his entire season because of injury.
What? I thought so. Did Sam Bradford not?
Apparently not. Sam Bradford must have gotten hurt early on in his rookie season, but did not miss the whole season. I will look that up now, but
that man stole bags of money from the NFL.
This is via NBC Sports. No, and Sam Bradford's rookie season in 2010, he played 7. They were 7-9.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. He made $58 million or something like that, and he was terrible.
He had a little renaissance with the Vikings, and then got hurt, and then that was the end of his career. Before Kirk Cousins was there.
He worked out really well for every team he went to. They never won. What
do we think this means? Do we think that Darnold is? Darnold's going to play the whole year. What do we think this means for the Vikings? I'm gonna get Brian off the Sam Bradford hate train and just actually continue with regular content here. What do we think this means for the Vikings? I know Darnold is almost certainly going to start the whole season now, like I just said. Do we think that they can be competitive in this division that is probably going to be one of the best in the NFL, if I had to guess?
Well, you're not going to get me off the Sam Darnold hate train because I think Sam Darnold played for the actual Vikings for a while and he sucked at her too. But anyway, neither here nor there. Sam Darnold's going to be awesome. He's still going to see ghosts. But I do think this is actually really good for the Vikings. You get to see Sam Darnold. I can't get on Sam Bradford. You get to see Sam Darnold actually do something decent, and I think he's actually going to thrive there, especially with Justin Jefferson. And you have a decent offensive line with Dillashaw, I think, as your left tackle, or one of the strongest offensive lines. Darrishaw.
Yeah.
You get to see Sam Darnold do something nice, and if you don't think J.J. McCarthy is ready, you get to keep sitting him and just keep sitting him, or trade him, and then get picks back and you get draft capital.
Yeah, but it's such a hindrance on his ability to get reps with the players on his team and learn the offense through playing. I mean, you can watch as much film as you want, but at some point you got to go throw the ball. You know what I mean? It's good. I don't know. It's tough for the Vikings.
Well, question to the group. It's a 3-month injury. They're already telling him he's out for the year. What does that tell you the team thinks about?
Well, that's not necessarily true. What they said when the stuff came out was that it could be a minor tear or a major tear. If they had to surgically repair something, that it was going to be probably more of a 6 to 9 month thing. So I think once you hit 6 months and you're starting the season, they're just going to call you out.
Fair.
This sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with Brian. I think Sam Darnold's gonna play pretty well there, especially with McConnell as his head coach. I think he's a damn good play caller, and he's got weapons around him.
Yeah.
He's, like you said, he's got a good offensive line. For all intents and purposes, I think we're going to see the best Sam Darnold we've seen.
Yeah. And is that going to be good?
Couldn't agree more with Brooks. I think it's going to be great. I think Kevin O'Connell's going to give him the Steve McNair treatment. It's going to be dump down passes, and he's not going to have to worry about anything. He's going to have Justin Jefferson going, running go routes and running nines. And when he throws the deep ball, he can throw the deep ball he needs to.
I think he's going to be set up. I think he's going to be set up a lot more for success than he was with the Jets, obviously. And I think he played one game last year because of injury or something like that. But because he was the backup. But yeah, I think he's going to be. He's just got so much more talent around him, and he's going to have. I think he's going to have better coaching in terms of play call and understanding what he's good at. So I think we're going to see the best Sam Darnold that we've seen.
Yeah,
he was the backup at San Francisco last year, and what's his
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan speaks volumes of how good of a human being he is, and that now being a good human being doesn't mean it equates to being a good quarterback, but he was very good at USC. He has a very quiet, calm demeanor, and obviously, I want to say this: Minnesota Vikings are like the San Antonio Spurs of basketball. It's a place where you go where you don't have to deal with a bunch of shit. And Sam Darnold went to the Jets, got drafted by the Jets. That's the opposite of Minnesota.
Yeah, let's not forget
on a really bad team,
really poorly coached team. His first 2 coaches in the NFL were Adam Gase, who's hilariously revered as one of the worst coaches in NFL history, and Matt Rule, Matt Rule, who was run out of Carolina in a year and a half. So I mean, just a terrible start to his career, coaching wise. Everything went wrong, and now he got to sit under Shanahan for a year, got to watch a good offense play, and now he gets to take his own reins. I mean, we'll see if he's set up for the best that he could possibly be.
Adam Gase is currently getting LASIK somewhere, and Matt Rule's eating corn out in fucking Nebraska. So, I mean, that guy got screwed over big time.
Yeah.
He's now actually under a good coach.
I could be wrong, but I think they won the game that he started last year with San Francisco when Brock Purdy was out. I can't 100% remember, but I feel like they did. Regardless, I remember him playing, and he played pretty decent. So
yeah.
The fact that Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowler and Sam Darnold isn't disgusts me.
Other news of the NFL, staying in the NFC, the Falcons really bolstered their defense last week, acquiring 2 former Pro Bowlers, traded for edge rusher, former Ravens great Matt Judon from
Mount Union.
Brooks?
I don't know.
Grand Valley State University. Matt Judon has made 4 out of 5 Pro Bowls, most of them with the Patriots. I think the first one was with the Ravens. And then they also signed
Brian's usually usually the best at theirs. I can't believe you missed that.
Yeah, no shit. I'm all good about Tennessee Chattanooga. He is our version of a Adalius Thomas.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. I'm mad at myself for not getting this.
They also signed Pro Bowl safety Justin Simmons, who's been a stud for the Broncos. Second team All-Pro 4 of the last 5 seasons for the Broncos. and just didn't get signed by anybody this offseason. It was really a bizarre situation with him. But I think he'll be an impact player for them. I don't necessarily know if this Falcons team is as good as the hype surrounding it, because their starting quarterback is 36 years old and coming off an Achilles injury, and their first round pick was another quarterback who's 25, 26 years old. So it's going to be interesting to see what the new coaching staff does with this team. We will. I want to push this one more time. We will be doing an NFL preview show, and we're going to be doing this next week. We're not sure if we're going to be doing it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Sometime next week, we will do.
Well, not
an NFL
Thursday.
preview show.
We can't do it Thursday, so it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Okay. So sometime next week, we will be doing an NFL preview show. It's going to be a separate episode than our regular show. We'll do our regular show Monday or Tuesday, do a supplemental show.
Right.
We're going to preview the NFL season. And we'll talk more in depth about the NFL. Last
I got
thing
mine.
yeah, you're thinking 2 weeks.
I got my weeks mixed up. Yep.
Yeah. Last thing I want to mention NFL wise before I know Brian's got his hands up. It was announced this week that Nicolas Cage will portray John Madden in a biopic titled Madden. That will.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. This is absolute. That's a shame. All right, that's a shame. Where's John Goodman? Get him in the goddamn thing. He's John Madden.
Great call. Great call. Maybe he
yeah.
said no. Or maybe John Goodman might not be in the greatest of health right now, because I thought we were going to get another season of Righteous Gemstones by now.
I read this line on Twitter. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I thought it was an Onion article, and it was Adam Schefter, and I could not believe it. I love Nicolas Cage. He's had some of my favorite movies. He's portrayed some of my favorite characters of all time, including Benjamin Gates, and I can't remember his character's name in Gone in 60 Seconds, like, for whatever reason. I know that the car's name's Eleanor.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Also, Con Air, great movie. But this is crazy. I hope he pulls it off. I'm definitely going to go see it. 1,000%.
His last name in Gone in 60 Seconds is Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man! Wow, good call. I wouldn't have gotten there.
Yeah, Brian, good call on John Goodman. That would have been a good one. But
Yeah.
when I was saying when you walked away, I'm not sure if you had your headphones on. He might not be in good health, because I was expecting another season of Righteous Gemstones by now, and they haven't come out with it. So, he is getting up there.
You're probably right. And now, obviously, this person's unfortunately passed away. I thought Philip Seymour Hoffman would have been a phenomenal person to portray that.
Oh, yeah. And absolute stud chameleon of an actor. Too. That guy was awesome.
Yeah. But and other than that, Wilford Brimley. Who the hell should you go with? Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. No matter what, it's gonna be interesting.
Kevin James, but he already did Sean Payton.
Oh my God! Did he really?
I'm sorry. What?
I didn't watch it yet, but I heard it wasn't great.
Yeah, let's skip past that. Let's go to golf.
Let's go right past this. Go to golf, please. Hey, talk about some stupid Canadian who won some stupid tournament that no one cares about.
Let's bring it up because so we had a couple questions, some other NFL questions that
Nick Cage.
Some people sent in as Brian throws back a shot. After Nick Cage was just brought up for Madden.
Cage. He went bankrupt because he put too many flowers in his castles. He would get new flowers every week. Sorry. Moving on.
Fun fact.
That's
your fun fact of the day. But it's we had a couple questions from some guys that are going to be better fit for us to go over next week in our NFL pre-show. So just so you guys know, if you're listening or if you listen to this, we're definitely gonna do those questions next week.
If you guys send in questions, we'll try to answer them as impromptu as we can. Like Brooks just said, we do have a couple questions that our friends sent in. We didn't miss them. We do see them, but it just makes more sense to talk talk specifically about NFL-related questions in our long-form NFL show that we're going to be doing next
But I do want to say thank you guys who are watching. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Like to Matt Bennett, like I know Bennett listens. Thank you so much. Nick, awesome. You know, those are two guys that come to mind right away.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Look,
Yeah.
we're terrible at this. This show sucks. We're a bunch of douchebags doing stupid shit. But God damn it, we appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening, and interact with us. If we suck and if we do something in particular that makes you angry, tell us about it. Ask
Keep it
us.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep
Or
it to yourself.
No,
You know.
no, you can tell me.
I don't
I'll do
wanna-
the show shirtless. I'll do the show in a dress. I have no problem.
What the fuck is that comment, Brooks? Do you know that guy?
What comment?
I'm putting it on the screen.
Dude.
Nice. And I love the picture too.
Oh,
fucking
that's
koala there.
awesome.
I hate to break
you are a sexy son of a bitch, man. I love the hell out of you already.
I hate to break it to you, Dustin, but we have the same mother.
We do have the same mother. I don't think I look like an aardvark though.
I didn't know aardvark was spelled like that.
Could be great spelling bee right there. Maybe it's because of this awful facial hair I have.
Yeah. All right, we're off the rails. We'll talk about golf really quickly. Hideki Matsuyama won the first playoff event of 2024. If you're not familiar with how the golf playoffs work, top 70 players in points for the season get invited, and they play 3 straight weeks. After the first tournament, they cut from 70 to 50, and after the second tournament, they cut from 50 to 30. Anybody who makes the top 50, so anybody you see playing this weekend, will be eligible to play in every single PGA Tour event next year. They're 100% punched their tickets. They have their tour card locked in. The guys who are in the top 70 get to go to most of the tournaments, but not necessarily all of them. So this is a huge deal. A couple of guys moved from the top 70 to the top 50, including Victor Hovland, who finished tied for second with Xander Schauffele in this tournament, who's had a terrible year, but came out of nowhere and is in the top 10 in the FedEx Cup again and has a chance to hang around and get to Eastlake and make a run like he did last year. Scheffler came in tied for third, I believe, or maybe solo fourth, and then Sam Burns and Nick Dunlap rounded out the top 5. Nick Dunlap is a rookie on tour, almost certainly going to win Rookie of the Year, has 2 wins, and now has a top 5 in a playoff event. But good for Matsuyama. He was the best player all week. He was dominating this tournament. And then another notable thing that happened in this tournament, the bottom 3 players, the last 3 finishers in this tournament were Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, and Max Homa, who are 3 of the biggest names in golf. Jordan Spieth, after this tournament, announced that he will be out for the rest of the year. He's going to have surgery on his wrist that's been apparently bothering him for the last 16 months. I don't know why he wouldn't have had this surgery sooner. Maybe he was trying to play through it. But yeah, so Jordan Spieth will not be on the President's Cup team. That's going to be something new. Usually Jordan Spieth is around for those international events. And this week will determine the automatic bids for the U.S. President's Cup team. So the top 6 players in FedEx Cup points at the end of this week, the top 6 Americans in FedEx Cup points at the end of this week will be 6 automatic players on the President's Cup team. Obviously, Jim Furyk, the captain, will have his 6 captain's picks as well. Those 6 guys, as of right now, are Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Sahith Theegala, and Patrick Cantlay, who I can't believe after having a terrible year is still in this group, but he could get pushed out with somebody having a big week this week. So that's all the golf stuff. You guys have anything to add or anything you want to talk about when it comes to golf?
Nope.
Not really. Okay. So yeah,
No,
that's
as long
what
as
we're
there's no
looking at.
Canadians. I'm wondering if this was a point situation for Spieth. Hideki Matsuyama, congratulations to him.
Yes.
But I might have a special guest coming on here in a second. It's my buddy who coaches high school football at Cabot Hall.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
we're Cabot Hall guys.
Yeah, that's why I said special guest.
Yeah.
But that being said, golf right now is just a dead sport to me because I'm so enthralled in baseball.
Yeah.
At the moment.
What is this guy?
Dude, whoever Paul Peters is, you are welcome over to my house at any time and just come hang out, dude.
Brooks probably goes to the bar and orders a glass of milk.
Chocolate milk with a shot of rumplements.
This is fucking hysterical.
I love this guy.
This has gotta be a Drew Burton burner or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a burner. It's a burner cell. He's got a razor. He's got a razor phone or
why
an
the
Ericsson
koala,
phone.
Drew?
It's
Almost certainly Drew. Okay, let's move on to our That's a Shame segment. My That's a Shame this week. I'll start off. Ex-NFL player Foster Ave. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I do remember his name. First-round pick of the Detroit Lions, who also played for the Colts and the Bucks.
That's correct, actually. The way you said it is correct.
Foster Ave was arrested for assaulting and urinating on another man during a flight from Boston to Dublin, Massachusetts State Police said Monday. Not a good look for you, bud. Shouldn't be peeing on people at all, let alone on airplanes. So yeah, that's a shame.
How do you even respond to that? I don't even know. I'd rather talk about Sam Bradford. My That's a Shame is Georgia football players and their vehicular activities.
Yeah.
Stop speeding and stop killing people.
Stop driving.
Stop driving.
If you play on the Georgia football team, get a taxi. Don't drive a car.
Another guy got arrested for speeding or like hitting a light pole and taking out electricity. Like, what the hell are you doing? Stop it.
I had to piss.
Hey, John.
Hey, what's up?
John, welcome to
Yes.
Gary Williams Stone by Lawn Furniture. Guys, this is John Moorhead. He is a St. Gerard's Club member. He is also a coach at Calvert Hall football.
Yes.
Awesome.
And this young man is about to have a baby, and he is retiring from the bar industry after 20 years.
Hell yeah.
We wanted to bring you on, and we were just talking about a little bit of football stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. How's the team looking at Calvert Hall this year, man?
So we've had 2 scrimmages. We've scrimmaged Good Counsel, they're the number 1 team in the state, of state Maryland. St. Francis is pretty good. They play a national schedule, but Good Counsel was pretty good. We had close scrimmage with them, and then we scrimmaged Boys Latin on Saturday, and we played very well against Boys Latin. I think we scored. See, they weren't keeping official scores, but it was like 42-0. So it was pretty good.
Hell yeah, man.
Did you go to Calvert Hall or did you go to Dundalk? John.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Calvert Hall's throttling.
They got dropped. There.
You dropped for a minute.
Yeah, no, this is Baltimore County Wi-Fi over here.
We got you now.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah, we were just talking about we talked about a few things NFL wise. What do you think about this Nicolas Cage John Madden movie?
First I'm hearing of it. What do you guys think of the new kickoff though? I'm a
I
big special
hate it.
teams guy. You hate it?
I hate it.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what to think yet. I'm gonna have to watch it for a couple months to get used to it because even just aesthetically, like watching at it, it looks crazy to me. It just doesn't look natural. I hate the onside kick rules no matter what, but yeah, the kickoff rules are weird. I'm not 100% sure on them yet. I gotta watch it.
I think maybe where I'm going is the kickoff rules. I'm incorporating you have to announce you're doing an onside kick kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm putting all that in one boat.
Yeah.
So I hate it. But if it means less injuries, I'm not the guy running into a minefield. So
Yeah.
Well,
what do you think, Brooks or John?
I like that it's going to be. I mean, that it's going to force some more plays. I just don't know the strategy of it yet. And I mean, I know this is like they do this in football practice quite a bit. Like this before this was even implemented, just to save guys' legs and stuff, I believe. But I don't know the strategy of it yet. So But I think it's going to be good in the long run because I like that it's actually bringing the play back.
Yeah, let's get your insight into it.
I don't think we've seen what it can really, after only like 2 preseason games per team. I don't think we've really seen what it can do. I see a lot of guys, just a lot of kickers, just kind of putting this ball up between the 5 and the goal line, and because they want to see, the coaches want to see like what guys can make tackles on special teams and who makes the 53-man roster. That's a big part of it. Who can play kickoff or kick return. I think you're going to see once the season starts, and I think a lot of teams just want to hold their cards close right now. You'll see a lot of like line drives, squib kicks, because if the ball bounces, it can't hit the end zone on the fly. So like the old touchback, that's not a penalty. Like if you kick it into the end zone, that ball comes out to the 35. I think you might see a lot of balls try to like a hard line drive or a squib kick that hits the ground and then runs into the end zone, and that would be a touchback at the 20. So I don't think we've really seen what it can do yet. I don't really think we've seen both offensively and defensively what coaches have planned. I think we just see a lot of guys popping balls up and just see who can make a tackle on kickoff right now.
Do you think there's an advantage that we haven't seen yet because it's small sample size right now, obviously? Do you think there's something that can be taken advantage of?
Yeah, I think that, again, these coaches aren't putting anything on film. They don't want to show. I mean, if you're the Ravens, you don't want to put anything that you're going to use week 1 against the Chiefs on film. Like they're probably just telling Tucker, or they had the punter doing kickoffs a couple weeks ago, just to put that ball on the 5-yard line. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a lot of things like reverses. You're going to see a lot of like, maybe swing blocks or kind of offensive lineman blocking, like a trap or a counter. Because that's what it basically is. It's not a run play basically, because those 2 lines are 5 yards apart. So you're going to see a lot of like things that we haven't seen yet. That's what I'm predicting. You're going to see just a lot of offense.
Is the wedge allowed again now, given this new rule? Is the wedge allowed, or no? It's still
not, and it wouldn't really work either because they're so close together. Like the 5 yards is like doesn't allow you enough time to drop back and form that wedge. So
yeah.
But again, Brian, I agree with you with the surprise onside kick is like that's like a legacy. Like people used to take advantage of that all the time, and now it's gone. And I don't know. There's something about getting the ball back that's really cool. I don't know.
When you think surprise onside kick, you think of one name. You think of Sean Payton. I'm sorry, you just do in that Super Bowl. You think about at halftime.
Yeah, Thomas Morstead. I think of his name because he was the one who kicked it. But yeah, Sean Payton, Saints Super Bowl halftime. That changed the game. I think they were losing. Like that, swung the momentum. Like that's ball game.
Is this going to have a significant impact on like starting field position in general? Do we think that the starting field position is going to get pushed back, pushed forward? What do we like?
So again, the small sample size that I've seen a lot of the balls starting inside the 25 because they're making tackles. I mean, there's only been a few that have been broken free. I don't think anyone's scored yet either. But I think you're going to see obviously more defensive field position. So inside the 25, which is going to probably mean a longer drive for the offense, which will probably result in more punts at some point. So it might slow the game down. Like I know they're trying to speed up, get more plays in, but it might end up slowing the game down more if you have more punts and things like that. I think field position is going to favor the defense on this one.
John, we were talking about this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Do you think this will raise the salary of kickers or lower the salary of kickers?
I think it's going to make, and here's the crazy thing. You no longer need a huge leg. It used to be like especially when I was coming up playing as a kicker, it was big leg. All the coaches were big legs. If you had a big leg, that's what got you on the field. And then making your field goals kept you on the field. Like if you wanted to keep your job, you had to make your kicks. But now you don't need a big leg because a touchback basically penalizes the team now because the ball comes out to the 35. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to see they're going to look at accuracy over big leg guys, which is totally opposite of what they used to do. And I think you might see teams honestly looking more for athletes to kick off. Like I think the Chiefs might use their safety to kick off the kid Justin Reed. He's kicked Justin Reed, yeah, because now you have 11 tacklers out there. Harrison Butker's not making too many tackles. I mean, so as long as you get the ball in that zone. So I mean,
that's interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah, holy shit! Because you're looking at mortar kicks, like you're kicking pop-ups, infield flies.
Yeah, because it can't go in the end zone. So you're either going to do, I think you either do a pop-up kick to the 5, which all the teams have been doing so far, or you're going to see teams start, as we get to the regular season, line drives. Because if it bounces in that landing zone and then rolls into the end zone, that's a touchback. It comes out to the 20. If you just kick it into the end zone on a fly, it only goes to the 35.
Gone are the days of Justin Tucker just kicking it straight out of the back of the end zone.
Stick an athlete out there and kick off. But I think I'm breaking up again.
You're in and out. It's Baltimore County public school stuff. But that being said, Justin Tucker had one of the greatest lines. He goes, I honestly believe that if I can kick the ball when he's doing a kickoff through the uprights, I should get 1 point. Just 1 point. Now it'll screw up everyone's block pools, but he gets 1 point.
They used to do that in the arena leagues. The arena leagues, they would do that.
Did they really?
But
that's interesting.
But they were like 60-yard fields or something. 70-yard fields.
I got to run to.
Okay. Looks like you're going through a tunnel,
guys. But thank you.
You got to run to practice, John. Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks for joining me.
Practice.
John, you the man, dude. Hey, congratulations on the baby. All
right. Little unexpected guest, but that was fun. We got to talk about the NFL kickoff rules, which I've actually been interested in learning about. He was pretty insightful with that stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of knowledge I didn't really expect because I didn't really know that the 35 or 20, if the ball bounces, then you get it at the 20, as opposed to if you just kick it straight out of the end zone, you get it at 35. I didn't know that at all. We're going to learn a lot in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Brooks, we did our That's a Shame segment while you went to the bathroom. I talked about Goster Cherolis peeing on somebody on a flight. Brian talked about, what was it? Sorry, I completely.
Georgia football players driving.
Yeah, Georgia football players just shouldn't drive cars anymore. Do you have anything for this week?
I mean, do I just go with the obvious here? Craig Kimbrell's last, I don't know, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Been a little
we
rough.
Defended you, Craig.
We defended you, Craig. I might just do the rest of the podcast like this.
Man, you just you're relentless on him.
All right, we're gonna move on to our final segment today, which is our snake draft. This is gonna be this is one of my favorite topics we've done for a snake draft thus far. Best beer. We're doing all brands of beer, macro, micro, whatever. No twisted tea, no seltzers, no liquor. We'll do that some other day, maybe a cocktail list or some sort of alcohol list. But we're just going to do best beers. In our candy bar draft last week, Brooks won. I came in second. Brian came in last, which is a trend on this podcast. If you know anything, Brian tries to lose these drafts on purpose for the most part.
By the way, thank you all for watching. Go fuck yourselves. I'm going to lose this one as well.
I mean, when you purposely just don't take Reese's Cups with the number 1 overall pick, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, when you also have you pick a candy bar that has the word cup in it, I think you should lose automatically, but no big deal. I'm just going to move right past that.
Well, you know what? This is a democracy. 2 out of 3 said that is going to be considered a candy bar. Plus, our resident candy bar guy that works for Hershey's said that they do consider that a candy bar.
We have a candy bar.
He can come over to my house. I'm going to punch him in the face with a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Brooks has the first pick. Brooks, what's the best beer?
So let's get this straight. We're doing actual like if we pick a brand, it's a different. We're not just picking a brand. We're picking a certain beer of the brand.
Brand and beer, yes.
Okay. So, for example, just going to throw a random one out there. If you pick Miller High Life, like MGD is still available.
Yeah,
correct.
Miller products are still available.
All right.
Gotcha. I mean, I got to go first overall pick, just the easy drinker. If I'm stuck on a desert island, you could drink these all day, or just the good old fashioned Natty Lights.
Damn. I was really hoping Natty Light would fall to me at number 2, but it did not. And now I've got some questions to answer. And we're really stuck between 2 here. I'm just gonna go with Miller Lite at number 2.
Loser. Busch Light.
But no wonder you lose these drafts.
No,
Busch Light,
I could get behind Busch Light. I mean, I can get
I'm
behind
done,
it.
dog, man. I'm wearing a freaking Chicken Palooza shirt. All right.
Well, you get 2. You got another one?
Old English.
Just Bush.
And Old English.
Old English is malt liquor, isn't it? Whatever. We'll count 40s on this. I'm not going to take Steel Reserve or Hurricanes, but they got a special place in my heart from college. I guess number 2. I was between Miller Lite and Coors Light, so I'm just going to go with 2 light beers right off the bat. 2 kings: Coors Light, Miller Lite. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, I'll stick with. Well, you took Pap. Or no, you didn't take PBR, did you?
No.
You took Bush. Give me a PBR.
Wow, PBR. When's the last time you had a PBR?
Last year.
Yeah.
They're more prevalent out here in the sticks in the center of the country.
Yeah, we don't get as much PBR love out here, I don't think. You got a number 3 option, Brooks? You get 2 in a row here.
Yeah. I got to go with Old Faithful. This was like one of my favorite beers in college, so just give me Yinglings.
Wow. I thought you were going to say a different thing there. That's a good one. I like Yingling. That was on my list, but I don't really drink it very
I thought you were
often.
going to say Woodchuck cider, but no big deal.
I'm going to take the first like crafty kind of thing here. I'm going to take Sierra Nevada's Hazy Little Thing. I love that beer. I drink it all over the place, and it's so readily available.
Fair. I like that pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I get 2, right?
Yes, you do.
I'm going Mango Cart.
Yeah, thought about that.
That's a great pick as well.
That's a good beer.
And then I'm also going to go a little bit like very old. My dad used to drink all the time. Coors Original.
Coors Banquet. That's on my list. I thought I was going to sneak that. Damn it.
Yeah, that's directly from my father. Anyone fucks with me, I don't give a shit. You can go screw yourself. All right.
They started selling beers in College Park when I first started there, and it was Miller Coors products. And in the coolers, they only had like 5 beers behind because they had just started it. And Coors Banquet was one of them. And I drank Coors Banquet at every Terps game I ever went to.
Good. And Sam Elliott was their
That's what
spokesman.
Oh,
my God. What a great voice.
we know he's your guy.
Giddy up. Hot guy draft.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe I lost on that one. That sucks. All right, I'm taking Natty Bow, number 4.
Yeah, I was wondering who's going to end up taking it.
Yeah. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that. I know a lot of people that don't like that beer, but look, we're a Baltimore podcast. I'm taking it.
Look at you, just pandering. Pandering. I'm rounding out my draft, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
I got to go with one of my Christmas favorites of Mad Elf from Trogs.
Yeah.
Trogs,
Great
Mad
call.
Elf. Cherry flavored beer, which disgusts me, but a lot of people like.
You took my hazy I wanted. Give me one of my other ones my other favorite breweries is Victory. So give me Victory Golden Monkey.
Golden Monkey. I knew you were going Golden Monkey.
I honestly thought you were going to take, when we first said we were going to do this, I thought you were going to take Golden Monkey number 1. Just knowing you as long as I have, I think that's a good list. I think that's a pretty strong list you got there, Brooks. I'm torn between 2 Ocean City / Maryland type beers here. Burley Oak lost. Let's go with Burley Oak's lost IPA. Maybe if you're not from this area, you won't be as familiar. But if you live in Ocean City or come to Ocean City a lot, you'll see that beer pretty much everywhere, and that beer is amazing. So I'm gonna go.
Terrible pick. Great brewmaster.
Okay, there you go. Brian, finish out your draft.
I get one or two.
You get one. This is it.
All the marbles.
I'm going. This is for Kirsten. Love my life. Pumpkin.
Oh no!
I think that's a great pick.
Southern Tier, right?
Yep.
Is that Southern Tier? Wow.
Yeah.
So, it's actually the only beer I know from that brewery is Pumpkin.
They have a 2x IPA we used to have at 4th District forever. Honorable mentions for me. RAR's Nanacoke Nectar. I can't believe it's not on my list. I probably should have taken it over Burley Lost, but I've been drinking a lot of Burley Lost. And Keith Stone. He's so smooth. Also, Rolling Rock. I thought about Rolling Rock. I like that beer.
You used to get that on Dollar Shot, Dollar Beer Night.
Was it Rolling Rocks only, or did you just pick that one because it was the best?
I think we picked that because that was usually the most expensive to buy at the store, and we were like, "Oh, this is the best deal."
Yeah. If we did worse,
honorable mentions for me: Miller High Life, Steady Eddie, Keystone Light, Hams.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever had Hams. Also, Burley Oak Sorry Chicky. We talked about it before we went live. That beer is outrageously sour. So if you like sour beers, that's got to be your thing.
Oh, I also want to shout out to Green Zebra. I forget who it's by, but Green Zebra is a sour. It's tasty as hell. It's a watermelon sour.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton. I like
Green Zebra is, by the way.
Bell's Too Hearted. You can never go wrong with. Founders is anything by Founders, anything by Lagunitas.
Lagunitas IPA is really good.
I used to love Boulevard. I can't get Boulevard. I haven't had it in like 5 years, so I don't even know if I still like it or not, but I used to really like a lot of the Boulevard beers.
Oh, we got no shout outs for Narragansett either. Love that beer.
Oh, Narragansett's so good.
It reminds me of Quigley's. Nick,
I'm going totally against you. It is terrible beer. It's just go right to Natty Boh, dude. Sorry, Nick, my bad, but it's go right to Natty Boh.
Okay,
and I'll even tell the union rep. I'll tell my union rep the same damn thing, Nick.
We get a lot of Rheingeist out here, so I can appreciate this shout out. We have a ton of Rheingeist in our taps out here in the Midwest.
I've never heard of Rheingeist. Is it like a Pilsner or something, or
they got a bunch of it's the name of the brewery, but they have a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, everything you can think of that everybody else has.
All right, so as we finish here, I'll go through our lists again before we give out the graphic and have everyone vote on it on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you vote. Brooks's team, Natty Light, PBR, Yingling, Trogs Mad Elf, and Victory Golden Monkey. My team is Miller Lite, Coors Light, Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing, Natty Boh, and Burley Oak Lost IPA. Brian's list is Busch Light, Old English, Mango Cart, Coors Banquet, and Southern Tier's Pumpkin.
Interesting. None of us put
Mango Cart Kona.
It's Great Lakes.
No, it's from Las Vegas, Los Angeles. I'm sorry,
Golden Road. Yeah.
Their biggest one is like Wolf IPA or something like their Wolf something.
Yeah, I think there was a thing that they did with Kona Big Wave where people would mix them together, and it was a big thing. I don't know. Anyway, those are our lists. We'll put the graphic out on social media some point this week, probably earlier in the week.
I'm surprised we didn't do anything.
We miss a lot of great beers. We miss a lot of great beers. We understand.
We miss a lot of great beers.
Yes. But there's so many beers.
This was going to be controversial no matter what. I'm actually really surprised that Dustin didn't take anything from Cigar City. I like
Cigar City. I like Cigar City a lot. I really like RAR. I wanted to get them on the list, but I had to take Natty Bo. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. Highlight's too citrusy for me, but they have a couple other beers that I really like.
We're going to piss so many people off. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Nobody picked Guinness. Nobody picked anything like that. No dark beers at all. So.
Yeah, no, like I really love bourbon stouts in the wintertime. I'm actually surprised that we even got a pump. We didn't get an Oktoberfest in there, which, I mean, I love Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Yeah, I mean, there another one of these that we could have done a top 10 probably, but
yeah, without a doubt, we could have done 10. Yeah,
yeah.
But, hey, to everyone that's watching, thank you so much. I want to give a quick shout out to a young man named Antonio Cipolla. You are a good human being. You have a great father, and I'm glad you got to go to all 32 baseball stadiums and just keep kicking butt, man. You are awesome, and you have great parents. Keep kicking butt.
Hell yeah. Yeah, shout out to everyone who's loyally listening to us. Shout out to all of our friends. Once again, if you want merch, we're all wearing the new merch. I got the black one. Brian's got the white one. We got a gray one. Brooks has got the camo one. $30 American. A couple of my friends, like I said earlier, don't have to worry about paying me. They're on the house. I'll buy them for you. You guys listen every week. You support us. Thank you very much. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, if you're interested and you don't have any of our numbers or live in the Baltimore City area,
just DM us.
Just DM the podcast or DM our private accounts, either one. If you are in the city, you can probably show up to Chasseur or Pig and Rooster and pick one up at any time. We're working on getting a page set up so you can buy them online. We'll obviously let you know when that happens. And next week, NFL preview show, it sounds like. We just got to pick a day. We'll let you know what day that's going to be. And I really think that the trend is moving towards doing a watch-along party for that first Ravens game while we're down at Mr. Foy's bachelor party.
At least maybe the first half. We'll see. We'll do it on the fly.
Yep. It could be one of the most dangerous things we've ever done in our entire lives. And I mean that sincerely. I don't say it for that often. All of us on a podcast at a bachelor party in a house in Outer Banks, Philadelphia Hills, not going to be good, but God, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll bring the microphone so only 4 of us can be on the microphone at a time, but you'll be able to watch us watching, and we can pass the mic around. So,
and I'll be completely nude.
Yeah, maybe we do that. Maybe do that in Speedos or something. That'd be nice.
Let's hope none of that is happening.
Mr. Foy,
I'm do a podcast one day where we're all in the bathroom. We're all just in the bathroom,
just sitting on a toilet.
Yeah,
the acoustics would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
they would be terrible.
I know.
We need to get at least Mr. Foy can be in a Speedo.
All right, we're off the rails. We need to get off stream. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you twice next week. Tune in for our regular show and our NFL preview show next week. Send us questions. We do have a couple questions we will be talking about in an NFL preview show. But that's it for this week. Have a good week. If you're playing golf, hit them straight. And I turned 30 in 2 days, so fuck me, right?
Yeah. Hey, I always say this every time we end. I appreciate your mental health. I love you guys. My favorite part about this podcast is I get to talk to my friends. So I appreciate you guys very much, and I love you.
Absolutely. All right.
Go.
Love you too, buddy.
See you next week. Love you, buddy.